All right, so today we're going to talk about how to get your leads to show up to their appointments. So if you're an entrepreneur, you do lead gen, and the way that your funnel is currently set up, you have them fill out their information and then you make them book an appointment to be able to get on the line to talk to the salesperson who then sells your product or service. This is for you. And you're probably like at that place where you're like, man, people aren't showing up to appointments. If more people showed up, I'd be able to make more money. Yes. I've booked, I want to say like 2 years ago, over 12,000 appointments like in a year, 1,000 appointments a month. And this was something that I struggled with. Here's what you can do. If you use some sort of CRM system, normally everybody uses like Go High Level. I think they're amazing. You can use whatever you would like. If you have it set up inside of your CRM where you can track all of the appointments that got booked in your system between all out of all the leads that you generated. One of the things that I did was I looked at the list and I checked all of the appointments that booked and that showed up. So you're going to need to track out of all your leads, all the appointments that got booked, and you need to be able to track how many of them showed up. So if you got a sales guy, he needs to be able to track, he or she, how many of them showed up, right? So you can track back the leads who showed versus the leads who did not show up. So for example, if I got 1,000 leads that booked appointments and let's say only 300 of them showed up, 30%, which is average, and you have a 70% didn't show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the 30% who did show. I'm going to look at the times of when those 30% of leads actually showed up, right? So as an example, I looked at, okay, my schedule for my sales guy was from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. From 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., out of all of the leads that showed up to their appointments, what were the average times that they showed up? And I found that the average time was around about, from 4 to 7. So those 3 hours, 4 to 7. That's when most people showed up. And when I looked at the leads of the appointments booked that didn't show up, it was always around like random times of like 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And my theory was, well, it must just mean that these people from 11 to 3, they just randomly saw the time, they clicked it, and then just like wanted to book it, but they don't show. So what we did was we removed the times on the calendar from that 11 to 3 of when people didn't show, and we forced everybody to book appointments. It's my wife, Dana. It forced everybody to book appointments on the times that we knew that they would show. And when we did that, it increased our appointment show rate drastically. The problem could just be that you had too many slots available, and less slots means more people show. And I get it, because when I first understood, like when I first heard this concept, I was like, but if I do less slots, then it means that people are not going to follow through to actually book an appointment, and I get less opportunities. But in theory, that's not true, because you were already getting less opportunities because they weren't showing up to begin with, right? So all you were really doing is wasting your salesperson's time. I'd rather staff my salespeople during the times that I know that people are going to show and open up more slots from 4 to 7 when there's a higher show rate. And as long as my close rates remain the same, technically speaking, I should be able to make more money because I got more people to show. But if I just got random times between 9 to 3 where they don't show, I'm wasting my salespeople's time. And more importantly, like it's not producing any ROIs. And it's hard to get back in contact with the leads because, of course, we're texting them, emailing them, everything of that nature, and it's not working. So that's what I would say to do if you're struggling with, if you run a business that's more of an appointment set to close. If you're struggling there, limit the amount of times that you have on your calendar. Make sure you use data to back it up so you know what those times are that people actually show. Remove the times that people don't show, and it should be able to, in theory, increase your appointment show rates, and if your close rates remain the same, increase your overall revenue. Pray that was very valuable to you and that you implement that right away. Talk soon. Peace.